What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the reel of reality TV. All right. For the mothers, if you're listening to this, it's the day after Mother's Day when I'm recording this, so I just want to wish you all a happy belated Mother's Day. I hope you all are doing really, really great. I took some time to myself yesterday, had just a little bit of time with our son and my husband, and you know what I mean? So even though there were some things that I wanted to discuss, I just decided to hold off, not listen to some things, and just kind of wait until I got into a little bit of an energetic mood to do that. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still not really in an energetic mood, but I listened to some commentary that really just got me activated. And when I say activated, I'm just pretty much heated. And this is what I'm going to say. Okay. I was listening to some commentary from Sherelle's World because when I saw the title and the thumbnail, I was like, maybe she heard some information that I wasn't aware of. So let me see what she's talking about, okay? Because it said that Melody's reality career is over. And as some people who have been over here for a minute, you know, I'm not watching this most recent, and in my personal opinion, final, again, just my opinion, season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I may catch clips. I haven't seen any clips yet because I just haven't had a chance to get around to it yet. And if I feel like watching the full episode on the OWN app, because I have YouTube TV, so therefore I do have access to content on the OWN TV app, I'll maybe watch it, a couple of weeks after the episode is aired, because I'm not going to help the ratings of this show. Just my own personal choice and decision to do so. Not being a mellometer, not joining in any type of boycotts or blackouts or anything, just my own personal conviction and my own personal decision. Because the man that Melody was married to, in my eyes, and based on just the research and things that I've been viewing, is a narcissistic, malignant narcissist and a psychopath. And I don't want to indulge in what I see as a downward, even bigger downward spiral of this dangerous monster that cares nothing about anyone but himself. So that's my own personal decision. So I'm not so much a mellometer as I am as much a Martell Holt hater. Okay? I know they're terrible men, no matter what ethnicity they are in this world. But to see if, broadcasted on a television show that's supposed to be allegedly about love and marriage is just absolutely disgusting. And I am someone who is married. I am an advocate for marriage. I'm married to my best friend of a little over 25 years at this point, and we've known each other even longer than that. It's disgusting to see. And so I'm just done with that. And this person does not deserve to have any type of platform. But the reason why I'm even coming to speak about this is because, listen, until I see it, I definitely will not believe it. But I believe it's absolutely preposterous to think that Bravo, after not, we're talking about after his arrest, after seeing how he has been portrayed in these court documents, and final decisions haven't even been made yet in the court proceedings with regards to custody, and he has refused to undergo therapy with his son, that this network, Bravo, wants to work with him. But this is allegedly what Sherelle's World is over there reporting, saying that Bravo wants to work with Martell, and that Melody, they would absolutely have nothing to do with her. Now, while I will say this, listen, and this is no hate, absolutely none. I don't see why Bravo would want to work with Melody either, But again, that's no hate with regards to that. I'm just saying that you don't really see too much of that. The only reason why he was on Bravo by way of Real Housewives of Atlanta last season was because of this business arrangement that Sheree and he cooked up together for her to have a man on the show, because that is the only reason why he slithered his snake ass up on that show in the first place and showcased himself to a whole lot more people that knew nothing about him, that had never watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, was not privy to it, and saw him as much of the joke as, if not even a bigger joke, than the people who already had seen him on Love and Marriage Huntsville knew him to be. So what does he have? Seriously, what does he have that Bravo would want to, one, work with him and pay him? Like, seriously, they didn't even pay the men who were connected to the other housewives. If you watch the Real Housewives of New Jersey, they're pretty much all married, and they're always on every episode, and they're not even paying those guys. What would Martell have that Bravo would just want to work with him? They hardly want to work with Sheree. Has anyone heard that Sheree's coming back to the next season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? We don't even know when that show is going to begin airing, let alone, filming, because they still don't have their ish together over there. So in what capacity would they have to bring him onto that network? For what? And for Sherelle's world, I just really, listen, she can say, I can't stand that bitch. Everybody has the right to like who they like and don't like who they don't like. People cannot like people because they don't like the way their voice sounds. They don't like the way they wear their hair. They don't like how they dress. People do stuff like that all the time. It doesn't always make sense, but it just is what it is. But to be, as I feel, not just disrespectful, but in a number of ways, I feel dangerous, saying things like, she had him arrested. I feel that is so below the belt when there were chargeable offenses and grounds for her to be able to even press charges. You can't just have someone arrested because you feel like it. Well, I don't like him. He's getting on my nerves. I'm tired of him. I want to take him down. So, yeah. Huntsville police, I want to put a warrant out for his arrest, and I want him taken down ASAP. It doesn't work that way. And to disregard all of the things that he has said and done is just foolish. My personal opinion is, those people who have grouped themselves together to become mellometers, and she decided to say, okay, if you all want to have a name, let's do this. Like, what do you want to be called? Listen, that's all their prerogatives if they want to do that. But that's those people's personal decision if they want to be in some sort of fan club and support group where they're all lumped together in having these, this title. But I don't believe that she went onto the show in hopes of making everyone like her. I feel that most people who go on TV, they want to be liked. I don't think that is I don't think that's something weird or foreign. Most people want to be liked, even if they know in their heart of hearts that they're not extremely likable. Most people don't want to be hated. Most people don't. But some people don't do anything to help their causes of being liked, their desire to be liked. And so her ex-husband has done so many things. He is that type of person that it's not so much about doing things to better himself, to be seen in a favorable light. It's to bash and destroy everyone else so that they can look just as bad, if not worse, than he does. We've seen him do it with almost everyone else on the show. And even though some of the things might be true, like he says, Tisha does everything that Marcel tells her to do, true. He claimed that Marcel was cheating with 20-something females. I don't know if the number's accurate, but I'm quite sure Martell knows about a number of the devious, dirty deeds that Marceau has done. I'm quite sure of that. When Martell dragged Marceau and Maurice, talking about Maurice, in terms of his needs over his wife's needs at the time that was going through a cancer battle, he was speaking the truth about that as well. But again, he does those things. It's like, well, if I'm going to be seen in a dark space, I'm dragging you all in this dark space with me. It's never about doing things to better himself and to make himself look more favorable so that people can soften their stance on him. It's always about dragging everyone else. When he did the sit down with Tasha K, and I even heard someone else, I think it was Kempire, he said recently what I had said several times previously about that sit down. He said Tasha K even attempted to try to steer him on the path of just making this into an actual interview / conversation and trying to help him to maybe not look so hated, and he refused. It was all about saying things that were negative about his ex-wife and the mother of his 4 children, that at that time he was trying to give off an insinuation of, well, yeah, the 4th child, she looks a whole lot like her mom. Like everything has been about trying to make her look like she is something that most people don't believe that she is, and that is the HOE that he has been. I don't believe that he ever loved that woman. I've said that before. I believe that he has always been with her for opportunities, and because she has been an ambitious individual, it has helped him in the places that he has gotten himself to be able to be in. He doesn't deserve to be on television. Honestly, nobody deserves to be on television. But for someone to have done the things that he has done, I don't believe that he should have the chance to keep it. And I would 100% be against Bravo working with him. But I honestly don't even believe that. I kind of feel like it's something, in some way, shape, or form that Sherelle may be putting out there in hopes that it would be something that would work out. But let's face it, all of the Housewives shows, for the most part, are not getting the views that they used to get. They already made a terrible investment, in my personal opinion, bringing Portia back and investing with her to be able to produce scripted content for NBC Universal. Who in the hell made that decision? So if that was a conversation that she got wind of, that someone was speaking about, it must have been the same person that thought bringing Portia back to the network and offering her everything that they've offered her, that thought that was a good idea, because clearly it has not been. Seriously, they're already filming the next season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. And Atlanta was done before Potomac. So that just goes to show you that there are not a lot of great decisions that are being made over there at this point in time, because the whole scope of reality TV is just not the same as it used to be many years ago. We're going on season 16 of the Atlanta Housewives. You can't keep doing things the same way over and over again when it comes to these types of shows and think that it's going to be like it used to be many years ago when it was fresh and new and people found it either interesting or they were curious about it. So to hear that this network is wanting to work with Martell, they clearly must have a hope for failure, and they're trying to get there as fast as possible, if that has even been a conversation. But I honestly don't believe it. I just don't. I really don't. But to hear that come out of her mouth, I was like, well, dang, like, what did Melody really do to this woman? I don't follow a lot of the stuff that goes on social media. Actually, I don't follow any of it. But if I hear some people that I may be subscribed to that talk about some things and share some things, that's kind of how I find out about it. I don't have time for all of that back and forth stuff and putting on Google alerts to find out who posted something to their stories or who did this or who did that. Not knocking anyone who does. Everybody's roles and what they do on these different YouTube platforms are different, and I respect that and I understand it. But I just clearly cannot believe that Bravo is interested in working with him. And if anyone over at that network is interested in working with him, it might be Andy or one of his cohorts that wants to work with Martell in the bedroom, if you get my drift. Because when Sheree first talked about him before that last season, when she brought his loser ass up on that show with him, Andy, you could tell he was getting, his pants were getting a little tight, if you get what I mean, all right? So with that being said, is the network interested in working with him as in terms of him being on the network and them paying him to be on the network? I highly doubt that. But is anyone at that network interested in doing some things with him? I could see that. I could see that 100%. And hell, if they were paying him to do some things with him in that aspect, I don't think he would turn the check down. All right? But anyway, guys, you let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.